Get ready, Staten Island. It's time to celebrate 5 years of Ferry Hawks baseball. Join us Friday, April 24th through Sunday, April 26th for our first homestand of the season and our 5th anniversary celebration. Score big with $5 tickets. Grab $5 domestic draft beers. Enjoy $5 popcorn. And yes, 2 Nathan's hot dogs for just $5. Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.
Excuse me! Taxi! Come on, what are you doing? This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Hey, we are back with the man himself, the number one geopolitical expert that I know. His name is General Blaine Holt, U.S. Air Force retired. There is almost nothing about this war with Iran that has surprised him. He is back. General, welcome back. I understand negotiations I can't tell. What the hell's going on? How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, and you're very kind to me. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it. You told us when the war would start, right down to literally the hour. You knew it. You knew it long in advance. When is this thing going to end, and what is your sense of the negotiations? It looks like, I don't know, it looks like a little bit of posturing. I'm sure they're going to get to the table probably tomorrow.
Probably, but this thing's going through a very new phase now, and it's a welcome one because it's probably the final deal. The leadership in Iran has shifted into 2 buckets, and they're at each other's throats. On the one side, you've got these civilian leaders, what's left of them, trying to cut a deal with President Trump, posturing, showing strength with their mouths to try to stave off a potential revolution. They want to show the 90 million people, we're strong, we can go toe-to-toe with President Trump, no problem. On the other side, you've got this IRGC, which used to be in league with them and under control of them. That's the military arm. These are the guys that think it's a good idea to throw missiles at an Indian ship with 2 million barrels of oil on it when India was actually sympathetic to the Iranian cause. And those guys are they're as crazy can be. So the way this works is probably there's going to be talks. Probably they'll secretly behind the doors want some sort of Venezuela-type deal where you let us live, we play ball and do what you want, and we're out of the nuke business, don't worry about that. But you got to do something about these blood murder-crazed idiots that we created called the IRGC, and we've got airplanes for that. We'll be only too happy to oblige them. But that's where this goes next, and then you're going to see the population of Iran, I think, start to get involved.
Wait a second. So you think, all right, so we got the civilians who are officially in charge, and they're moderate, they're not crazy. You got the military, though, that's still crazy. So the civilians are in a bit of a bind there because they want to show that they're in charge. They got to talk tough. They got to keep the military at bay. And when they go to the table in Pakistan, they could actually open up with their negotiators, us, and say, we got a problem with these military dudes, and oh, by the way, here's where they live. Is that what I'm hearing?
Every part of what you just said is right, except for I wouldn't call them so moderate. I would just say they're less blood-crazed idiots or crazies. They are certainly guilty of killing hundreds of thousands of their own people, but they're what I would call the pragmatic blood-crazed murderers. And they're looking for a way off the board, whereas the IRGC, if you look at the IRGC generals, Brig, all of their money, their personal holdings, are being wrapped up by Scott Bessent. They're going broke fast. There's no way to pay their people. And these generals are throwing whatever missiles they can in any direction because there's nowhere to go. So it's not a big dramatic ending to this thing, but we are going to go mop up some of these generals, and probably the civilian leadership of Iran's going to help us.
Well, that would be wild. It would be all covert, right?
Yes, all covert. That's where I see this going. Could go in a different direction. All wars have wild cards to them, but I see this tracking very nicely. Now, let's get to the real sport of kings. Scott Bessent is working on the monopoly called Lloyd's of London. He is busting that sucker up. This thing we call the City of London, the banking consortium, the financialists, the globalists, well, it turns out they really should be called the City of Dubai, because that's where the Dubai International Financial Center is, and that's where the globalists really do most of their trading. Well, what has Scott Bessent done? He has rolled up 7 of the banks that have been laundering money for Iran for years, 2 of them in Dubai, 2 in London, 1 in Hong Kong. They're everywhere. And then what is the United States military doing out of the Straits of Hormuz? Well, we're taking control of all the choke points in the world. So if you're a globalist looking at us attacking cartels in Venezuela all the way to the stuff we're doing in the Straits, knocking out the choke points, we're really a globalist nightmare right now. President Trump is a wrecking ball on this old boy system that was enslaving us to all the debt and all the mess.
Wow. All right. So a couple of quick things here. Bessent's blowing up the banks, exposing them, and the choke points. So when all is said and done, when you mean choke points, you mean Venezuela, you mean the Strait of Hormuz, you mean like no one will be able to turn off the spigot. But let's face it, nobody really was turning off the spigot, or were they?
Well, I mean, Lloyd's was betting on both sides of every war in the Middle East, and so what they would do is up the ante on insurance, down the ante on insurance. They would effectively determining the price of oil in the world, and all the bankers would mop up. Well, when I say choke points, what I mean is logistically, we're talking about physical commodity movement. So Straits of Malacca, the Suez Canal, Panama Canal, the Cape of Good Hope, the Cape Horn. The United States Navy is effectively, in some fashion or form, maintaining control or going to control. Look at the Indonesia deal we just signed in the defense world, where they're going to give us complete overflight clearance anytime we want. And yes, we can run our ships all over the Malaccan Straits and everything's cool. China doesn't like that. China doesn't have a choice.
But I mean, before this war, we were having ships go through the Straits of Malacca, right? I mean, we were.
Sure.
I mean, like, I'm saying that, okay, before the war, all of these things were flowing anyway, right? Okay.
Yes, but what if I have a really cool set of intel technologies that you want to run your nuclear stuff or your precursors to missiles through the Straits of Malacca? Well, I'm going to see that stuff now, and I'm going to stop your ship, and I'm going to board your ship, and I'm going to take that from you.
Okay, well, fascinating stuff. So will we start bombing again? I know there's a lot of people are betting. Do we start bombing? Will there be another bombing phase, or is it going to be extended, or what here?
Yeah, I think we'll see some more kinetics. We have to tear up those islands where those gunboats had come from. And honestly, I think that's probably what they'll discuss in Islamabad is, look, we'll get the IRGC off your backs and we'll cut a deal, but you got to let us know where to hit these guys. And I'll tell you something else. I have read this in other sources. It has to be confirmed. It's not proven yet. But it looks like we're going to find out the IRGC, to protect itself, is operating out of the Chinese embassy in Tehran. If that's the case, get ready for a very interesting meeting between Xi Jinping and President Trump.
Has that been reported publicly?
Not reported publicly, but I have seen some stuff that I actually have usual pretty good confidence in, but I'm not telling you that I'm breaking news or that that's there. But what I am saying is that it's even it's even in the alternative media. You can bet our intel community and President Trump would love to have that leverage at the table when he goes to show up to talk to Xi Jinping about a variety of issues.
All right. Hey, you remember Norman Schwarzkopf? Norman Schwarzkopf. I watched an old briefing of his in the middle of the war, and he did it in front of 1,000 journalists in Riyadh. Unlike Cooper, who you don't see that very much, but, and he said actually that there had been 50,000 airstrikes, 50,000 sorties.
Yeah,
now, what
right.
we have done so far, I believe, is about 11,000 sorties. And I was like, Now, is that because we are, in our own way, being kind to Iran? I mean, we're only taking out their military stuff. We're not taking out a lot of other things that we could be taking out. That number seems very low to me in comparison. What do you make of that?
It is. And two reasons for that. One reason is we don't want to take the 90 million Iranian people out of the economy and make them a welfare state and have them fight each other. So you got to leave them with a lot of stuff. Thing number two, warfare since Schwarzkopf's time has evolved incredibly, and we're much more efficient with targeting, with hitting something once, not having to hit it twice. Our bomb damage assessment is much more real time than it used to be. So there's a lot of different things that we have to be much more efficient with the iron on the battlefield.
All right, that makes sense. And were there what kind of things were we blowing up in Iraq that we aren't blowing up now? Well,
in Iraq, we had determined that the entire Ba'ath Party was not going to keep its jobs, which was a stupid thing to do. So we just wiped out everything they had. Buildings, their command and control structure, wires, power plants. And then, the kids from War Incorporated were like, that's cool. We'll just sell them contracts and we'll go build it back for them at the taxpayer's expense.
Oh, man, what a racket. What a racket.
It is a racket.
We need you in power. I mean, I could see you. You're calling us, by the way, from Idaho, great state of Idaho. And I guess they have a governor and 2 senators and a congressman or 2. Have you ever seen yourself as one of those guys?
I could. Idaho would have to ask me. I'm a little irascible in local politics here. I'll tell you that they don't always appreciate my candor and my honesty.
Well, we certainly do. And we appreciate it very much. Blaine Holt, everybody.
Well, I appreciate that.
Dangerous Intellectuals is the podcast. And to be continued, sir. All the best.
Thank you, sir.